Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media, and that's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video. If you're on a podcasting platform, do us a favor, leave us a review. 5 stars would be awesome, but whatever you think we deserve, that would be cool of you. And also get down there, hit subscribe on the channel and notification bell so you can be apprised of when we drop new content on the Super Not Funny Show. So, man, it's an interesting week for superheroes and everything like that. We got some big behind the scenes news from DC and from Marvel that's going to be confirm some things and then kind of give us some surprises that we didn't quite know. But before we get into all of that good stuff, I want to say what's up to my podcasting partner Lottie. Lottie, what's going on, man? How you been doing, and what nerdy have you been up to?
Oh man, it's nothing but good feelings. Had a great weekend. When it comes to nerdy, I haven't started exactly playing games yet, but I do plan on playing some horror games this weekend. Um, when it comes to exactly nerdy, of course, we watched Gen V, which I keep calling Gen Z for some reason. They know it's easy to mix up, and of course, the new Loki show. But besides that, I kind of met somebody recently that's into epic fantasy, so it's kind of cool to like nerd out about epic fantasy books again because anytime I mention an epic fantasy book to somebody that reads books, they're like, "Oh God, here he goes." But they actually like they're into it, so it was cool to have that little like nerd session of epic fantasy again because it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, you need to read through the Wheel of Time. Uh, that's my nerdy thing. Finished the Wheel of Time season 2 last week. That was really dope. I got a review of that coming out soon on the channel. Also, like you watched Gen V, watched Loki, watched a cool little horror movie called Totally Killer with my daughter, and I recommend it. It's pretty cool. It's on Prime Video, but it's about a girl that's in high school here in 2023 who goes back in time to prevent a masked slasher from killing her mother's friends and also later on killing her mom. And it's a fun little Gen Z versus Gen X sort of deal. I think you'll probably get a kick out of it. So. I mean, I want to play video games, but who got time? We'll see. But this is a supercast where we talk about superhero related things. And man, this week there's so much stuff is happening. We're gonna talk about for a few minutes about the passing of a comic book artist and writer who you may not know has had a big impact on even superhero movies and comics and and TV shows and so forth, by the name of Keith Giffen. So we'll talk about him dead at 70. The WGA makes its final steps towards the ending of the official end of their strike. We get some behind the scenes news information and let's just call it hot gossip about Aquaman 2 and Amber Heard and Jason Momoa. It's pretty interesting stuff. Loki season 2 seems to be doing well in the ratings, and some big changes going over at Marvel Studios related to how it's treating and how it's producing TV. It's a pretty big and damning kind of insider report about what's been going on over there creatively, and we're going to dig into all of that. So, Lottie, doesn't seem like we have a ton of topics, but I guarantee you this is gonna be a barn burner. You ready to go, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, well, let's hit it. So Lottie, I'm gonna ask you first. I know you know you don't really read comics, but do you know who Keith Giffen was? Because Keith Giffen passed away today at the age of 70. But I was wondering if you knew who he was.
Honestly,
and
I don't know.
And then that's fine because you know you have to be a comic book reader. I'm familiar with Keith Giffen. He started his career back in the 70s, apparently as an artist, but he's also written things. He's written for the Justice League at one point, Justice League International, which was a kind of a comedic one, where Guy Gardner and Blue Beetle and Booster Gold were part of that Justice League, and then Justice League Europe and so forth. But also, and this, you know, his claims to fame, among many others, is that he co-created Rocket Raccoon and Lobo. So two characters that I know you were a big fan of. He was a co-creator of them back in the 80s. Also, and this is even more to the point, back almost 20 years ago, I can't believe I'm saying this, but almost 20 years ago, there was a comic book series, comic book special event that was taking place in Marvel called Annihilation. And this was going on you remember they had Civil War was going on at the time, but off planet in the cosmic arena was an event called Annihilation. And I think if you watch Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, you may have seen some kind of take on that. But it was essentially a big cosmic crossover event that touched the Kree, the Skrulls, and a bunch of other cosmic characters like Nova, and Thanos and Drax the Destroyer. And the reason why this is important is because the version of the Guardians of the Galaxy that we have from the MCU came out of that event. There's a big, you know, crossover event, a bunch of cosmic characters coming together to kind of deal with this big existential threat. And like I said, the Guardians of the Galaxy that we know from the MCU essentially came from that event. And Keith Giffen was the lead writer, and, you know, one of the creative leads on that whole series. So I'm saying all of that because even if you haven't read comics, this guy, his creative output over the years have really had a big impact on our popular understanding of superheroes from DC and from Marvel. And so, you know, Lottie, I know you didn't know his work, you know, specifically, but keeping all that in mind, you know, what did those properties, you know, what do they mean to you? And now that you know and understand this, you know, what do you think about the loss of this, you know, creative force that was in comic books?
Ironically, I was just watching one of the episodes of like last week of Justice League Unlimited when they thought Toyman killed Superman, but actually his gun just transports things to the future, to a dark future, and Lobo took his place as as Superman. And it was freaking hilarious because some people automatically portray Lobo as like a villain because he's fought Superman a couple times, but he's more of like an anti-hero. Sometimes he'll help the hero, sometimes he won't. So you already know, I like Lobo, and to see that Jason Momoa is going to play up, I'm very excited about how it's going to be portrayed in live action. And then, of course, Rocket Raccoon. You already know, one of my favorite sayings to say that James Gunn loves to do is put us in the house of pain. And he put us in a lot of houses of pain. That man put us in the locker of pain in that movie. And that movie would not exist if it wasn't for this guy. He helped create Rocket Raccoon, a very iconic hero that, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people like Rocket Raccoon. A lot of people like him. And, man, may his soul rest in peace. Lost a legend.
Yeah, The funny thing, the thing is, I've known about this guy for some time. Like I've known his work. I collected the Annihilation event in single comic books back when I was still buying single comic books. Like I said, almost 20 years ago, and it's an amazing. Like if you have a chance to just go get the collected volumes of the Annihilation books, it's just amazing. Yeah, and I know you like Nova. Nova is Richard Rider is prominently featured, and he's awesome. It's got Gamora and Drax and Rocket, and I mean like Super Skrull, Ronan the Accuser, Thanos. I mean, it is an awesome like crossover event. And of course, like the comedic versions of Justice League, Booster Gold he's a bit of an idiot, especially when he's hanging out with Ted Kord. Guy Gardner's a bit of an idiot. I mean, that comedic version of the Justice League is just kind of iconic. You see shades of it even now. Like you see shades of it in like the way Barry and Aquaman sort of get at each other. In the Snyderverse. So, I mean, this, like I said, this dude, he had been working since the 70s and just kind of did a whole lot of stuff. He wrote for he wrote for Dark Horse, wrote for, I'm trying to remember the name of the other ones, but he wrote like Exo Man of War and a bunch of other, just basically he did a bunch of stuff in the comics. And a writer and an artist, and just had a very high quality output. So, this is a loss for the industry. I don't think that he was doing a ton of stuff, so to speak, but as an influential person, as someone who, inspired other people, and just generally speaking, like I said, created a bunch of stuff that people like today. It's just pretty cool. So, I agree. That's rest in peace to Keith Giffen. And just thanks for all of the joy we got out of his work. I mean, I think as an artist, if you can leave anything that people can say, influence them or help them, to create something of their own, I mean, heck yeah. So, Keith Giffen, like I said, dead at 70. Moving on, this is real quick. This is just to say, at least the writer strike is 100% officially over. I mean, they've been back to work for about a week now, a week and a half or something like that now. But as of, I believe, 2 days ago, they officially ratified the new 3-year contract with the AMPTP. So the writers are fully back to work, and the threat of AI is completely over. So John Connor will never have to worry about the T-100 coming up and trying to shoot him in his sleep. So, Lottie, the future is secure now, right?
No. They're still using that AI bullshit. Which, I mean, honestly, man, you already know how I feel about AI. I feel like almost all of AI should just die in a fire. But unfortunately, the Pandora's box has been open, and it's just, and it probably is never going to close again. Like, I was listening to a YouTuber, I forgot the guy's name, but that YouTuber that has the very like monotone voice, the white dude with the long black hair. He was talking about how like a lot of people are like, he said a lot of like regular people are just like thinking that they're not like seeing the future of how AI can change everything, and people are just ignoring it. And he's right. Like, well, I'm not trying to say is we're gonna have some Terminator like, oh my god, the world's about to blow up type thing, but it's gonna be like a lot of things that some people think, like some people that go to school to just be an artist and make money off of art. That industry is going to start becoming a lot smaller. It's going to start becoming less profitable because they'll just be like, well, I can just get AI to do it. I'll just get an AI engine to do it, And it's just, but I digress. That's not what we're talking about. I always try to find a way to bring everything to AI because you know how much I hate it. But like, yeah, it's cool to see that they're back. They're back to work because we can finally start getting some new stuff. Because I won't lie to you, it like it got to the point that like some shows that I was like, I wasn't personally watching. I was just like watch over what someone else was watching, and I was like, this show feels like this. This shows feel like it should have came out in 2018. This must be like one of those shows that they put in the vault saying it sucks, but because nothing's happening during the writer's strike, they're like, let's release this just to appease some people.
Yeah. That's, well, funny enough, like a lot of the streamers are putting international stuff on. Paramount's really pushing this Korean, thriller drama. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Bargain or something like that. So that's going on across the board. They're bringing international stuff in, but yeah, the writers' rooms are up and running. They've been, like I said, for about a week and a half now. They're making moves and everything like that. So yeah, our long national nightmare is over. Oh, wait a minute. The SAG and the AMPTP are still fucking negotiating. Never mind. Forget I said anything. We're just stuck, I guess. I hadn't heard anything about their situation yet, except that they're still working on it. So it's taken longer, I think, than with the WGA. So I'm curious what exactly is the holdup. Like, and also they're going every other day. I'm like, if y'all bitches don't get in this damn room and just stay there, somebody go, order some Jimmy Johns and y'all just chill out in there with some Little Johns until y'all get this shit together. But we'll see. We'll let you guys know what's going on with the actors strike as it continues. But the writers are scribbling away right now and to produce things so that some of you can just call it mid. So like, be happy for that. So you'll have some content for your YouTube videos. And we'll let you guys know about how the other strike is going when we get more information. All right, Lottie, you ready for some tea? Like, do you got some lemon? You got some, digestive biscuits? Do you have, a little, you have your pinky in the air with your teacup because it's time to spill some right now. So I remember I saw this on social media and I was like, what's happening at DC? And also, Amber Heard, why can't she just like take the L and go home? Do you ever have sometimes you're just like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
But you know what? She deserves to say what she got to say. So okay. The gist of it being essentially accusing Jason Momoa of trolling her. Is that a fair statement? Saying that saying he was unprofessional coming to work drunk, and then that he was dressing similarly to Johnny Depp. And I hear this and I'm like, but why? Lottie, but why? Because I never had the impression that Jason Momoa was like, man, fuck Amber Heard. I just always figured like, oh, well, they worked together. Everything was fine. And yet, here she is. She's telling whoever therapist or something that she's having a problem working around this guy because he reminded her too much of Johnny Depp in his mannerisms and how he behaved on set or something like that. Now, Lottie, I will say that the press people for DC and was like, no, everything was fine. We don't know what you're talking about. It was all professional, blah blah blah, saying the typical shit. Also, in the midst of all this, there's also the reports that James Wan tried to basically fire her early on in development of the film because he didn't feel like that Momoa and her had any chemistry, and he just wanted to move on from the character. And they didn't get a chance to do that because supposedly Elon motherfucking Musk took time from ruining Twitter. Well, actually, he wasn't, but he took time from ruining Twitter.
X.
To
X.
From I'm gonna dead name it. Took time from ruining Twitter to send lawyers to be like, I will fuck you guys up if you don't let my ex-girlfriend continue to be in this movie. And I guess, yeah, that's. Look,
hold on. This man got that much small dick energy. That he's his ex-girl. I didn't know any of this.
My man's got micro penis energy. He's just all of it. For every $1 billion that's that's how much smaller his penis is. So he's one of the richest people in the world, tiny dick. So, but yeah, no. This isn't. I'm just reading. This is just from this article talking about it. But apparently, that happened. He was like, I will scorch the earth if you don't put her back in there. And they're like, fine, geez, if it's that important to you, she can stay. We're just gonna really, really, really marginalize her in the movie. So, I guess Amber Heard got beef with Momoa. She got beef with James Wan. She was unhappy on the set and all this other stuff. And in the midst of all of this, we also hear that DC, James Gunn is just like, hey, they confirmed. I don't think James Gunn said it, but they confirmed that, hey, none of the people who were in the Justice League, in the DCEU, are going to be reprising their roles in the DC universe. So, but as you said earlier, apparently Jason Momoa is in talks to be this universe's Lobo, and Lobo could potentially show up in either Superman Legacy or in a standalone Lobo movie, or both. So that's all the tea that I gotta spill. So let's start from the top. Was Momoa trolling or gaslighting Amber Heard? What do you think?
Neither, man. This is the same woman as listen. No. I don't believe either side. At this point, I feel sorry for this director. He was hired to make a movie, and he just was put up in this fucked up, shitty situation.
Well, it's his fault look, he got some blame because he cast the people that are in it. Amber Heard, it's not like someone said, you better put Amber Heard in or I'm gonna kill you. Nobody did that. He thought it was a good idea, put her in it. It worked out well enough because the movie made $1.1 billion. But he was just like, okay, well, I want to go in a different direction. Let's just write her out of this sequel. And he didn't know that Amber Heard was going to sick Elon Musk on him. Who the fuck would think to themselves, you know what? I better watch what I say around Amber Heard, or Elon Musk is going to be all up in my DMs like a bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who would think that? Definitely not James Wan. And James Wan, he's rich, but he ain't Elon Musk rich. And Warner Brothers is well to do, but they ain't got enough money to just be jousting with Elon Musk just to have fun. And I'm just saying, like, James Wan isn't innocent, but he also was doing his fucking job, and still had to be saddled with Amber Heard. My question is this credible? I'm not, because the thing is, I want to believe people when they say they experience something. I do want to believe that. I'm just curious, like, who else can corroborate this? Is this just something she felt was going on? Can someone else, verify that this is what was happening, that this was a hostile set? And I hadn't gotten any indication that Jason Momoa thought badly of Amber Heard. But on the other hand, It's not like he's actually been jumping up and down, be like, I'm Team Amber, fuck Johnny Depp, right? So, you know, this just be the result of like, man, you're too much fucking trouble. We just need to get on with this movie, and like, now we're stuck with you and all of the baggage that is associated. But I mean, so, but are you inclined to believe, or just are you just waiting to see?
I don't believe either side, man. Jason Momoa might have like as a joke, but it wasn't serious, and she took it as more seriously than the other. It just sounds like an absolute.
I just wonder if she's like, he was just dressing like Johnny Depp. I'm like, you mean he's dressing like a 40-ish, 50-year-old dude in Hollywood? Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean dressing like him? Someone said, like, did he dress up like Jack Sparrow? And I was like, that'd have been dope if he had. I'd have loved that, but I doubt that. What he had on? I'm just trying to figure out, what does that mean, dressed like Johnny Depp?
I don't know. I mean, they wear around the same clothes in real life.
Yeah, I mean, yes. All right, so she didn't like his wardrobe. Okay, he came to work drunk. Now, I feel like I would have heard about this by now if he actually came to set drunk. They can't like barely do anything without someone leaking insider information. Hell, this movie has had what, 3, 4, 5 test screenings that supposedly were awful. Like, when we heard about that, but we didn't hear about him being drunk on set. Come on. Yeah. Is that realistic? Get out of here.
No.
So I'm not. Yeah, maybe she was feeling bad about working. I think probably she was bothered by the fact that they didn't really want her there. You know, to which I say, why the fuck did you call Elon Musk then? Don't be calling in that favor, and getting him to threaten people. Shit's crazy, man. But also, so the next part is, all of the DCEU actors are out as they're, you know, playing the same roles in the DC universe. Lottie, surprised, not surprised, and does this open the door for those actors to later on join in different capacities, the way that Momoa apparently seems to be going to be Lobo?
Henry Cavill is Jor-El. Book it. I mean, the actor looks like Henry Cavill's like baby brother or son, doesn't he? Why not? Just saying. I'm just playing. But so, you know what? I'm not playing. Let's rewind. No, hold up. Let's do some speculation.
Okay,
Henry
Cavill as the Anti-Monitor. Make him a villain. Make him a fucking villain.
Or Darkseid.
He'll be cool as Darkseid, but he'd be under all that fucking makeup or green screen. Like, man, you wouldn't really see him. We need some. I wish he was Superboy Prime, but like, that's too on the nose, I think. But as a villain, he'll be hell.
Evil Superman.
Nah, I don't want him dressed up as Superman again. We've done that. Let's have him in another role. He'd be cool as Sinestro. I'd take that. It's the most square-jawed Sinestro possible.
But he's back on. But that's makeup again.
That's true.
Makeup.
I was trying to think of a Batman villain that he would be. He would be. How about Mr. Freeze? More makeup, but still Mr. Freeze. I'm trying to get him away from being Superman.
Guess him. You're trying to guess him away from being Superman.
Well, yeah, away from any Superman-like characters. So no Superman-ish characters, no Superman similar characters, nothing like that. away from all of that. I would be down with him. Hell yeah, being one of the Batman Rogues galleries. He could be Hush. That'd be cool.
I think Henry Cavill needs to be like a end game type boss. Like his physique and his gravitas when it comes to, that I think he could be like.
Oh, I got one. Okay. This is it. He could be Bane. Yes, Henry Cavill as Bane. Hell yeah. I was born in the darkness. I can just see Henry Cavill.
I was born in the darkness.
Yes.
Do you understand? I will blow it up.
All right, there we go. Henry Cavill as Bane. I demand it now. Okay. Gal Gadot as Granny Goodness. There you go. She or making them all bad guys. Should be Granny Goodness. Ezra Miller as Unemployed, and then Ray Fisher as not in the MCU. And so, who do we have left? Yeah. Oh yeah. Affleck, Ben Affleck as the director of one of the movies. There you go. Because he does not want to be Batman or any other superhero again, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. It will be. He might be cool for, like, just like I said, if he's going to be a bad guy. I mean, because I don't think he wants to. He doesn't want to work out, and he doesn't want to put on a ton of stuff. How about Affleck for Lex Luthor? You can't see it.
I think he just doesn't want to be really anything.
Yeah, I think he would be cool as a director. I'd love to see him direct something, since he didn't get a chance to do his Batman movie. So, well, we'll see. But Momoa, of course, Lobo, makes sense. He'd be dope as it. He wouldn't have to work too hard at it. So, I think he's just gonna have to put on a lot of gray ass makeup. So, but other than that, he'll look like Christian Bale did in Thor: Love and Thunder, but with hair. Yeah. So, but yeah, do you feel like Momoa definitely is going to be Lobo?
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah, he can be. He's like, in my opinion, that is what he's been playing. He's been playing like Lobo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think the other thing is, I think he probably has a pretty good relationship with James Gunn for having not actually worked with him for real. But I mean, because I think Momoa's been doing the smartest thing possible, which is showing up every time they say, "Hey, you want to? We just want a couple hours of your time. Just put the suit on or whatever, and we're just gonna show you up in a cameo." And he literally just like, "Sure, I'll be there." And he shows up, and he's just playing ball, especially he did that for Peacemaker. So, and I just get the feeling that, he's in good with the people in charge right now. So I wish Gal Gadot could be in the same situation, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather have Momoa over her, because Momoa, he just seems perfect for that role, and I'm struggling to think of who the hell Gal Gadot would be if she weren't Wonder Woman, in the DC universe. Not just because there's not a ton of female characters, but like I can't think of any like female bad guys that are like that she could play. Like I said Granny Goodness, but who else? Like, help me out. Who else could she play? So exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, We'll let you guys know more about, especially about Momoa and Lobo, when we learn about it. But hopefully, those, those Justice League characters that the people playing them can land somewhere cool in the DC universe, if anywhere at all. And we'll let you guys know. So moving over to Marvel, and that's going to be the last couple things we talk about. Loki season 2 debuted last week. We watched it, we reviewed it. The review should be coming out in the next day, and we liked it, right? It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I had a good time with it. I think you said something similar, and we're really looking forward to it. It does kind of suck it's only 6 episodes long, because what the hell. But we'll talk about stuff related to that in the next bit. But in this one, we're going to celebrate Loki season 2 debuting pretty big. I want to say it was the biggest debut or something like that for I think for the Marvel shows since 2021, which 2021 was like huge because they had WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. But it's done really, really well in its first 3 days of streaming. Lottie, is this any surprise to you, even with the supposed downward trajectory that Marvel has been on lately?
No. It's because the reason why Loki's one of those few it was already really popular at the time. People were really into that show. It's in my opinion, of when it comes to the MCU TV shows, it is definitely by far the most important. People feel that the other shows they don't need to watch, but they feel like they have to watch Loki. You know what I mean? Because it's introducing the big bad, the big bad villain. Even though people didn't go and watch Ant-Man, they watched it and streamed it. So at the end, they're like, oh, okay, Loki is the next thing that we have to see. So it makes sense. And plus, like I said, and then on top of that, there was like already good things of people saying that it was good. So there was a lot of like good momentum for Loki.
Yeah. And most importantly, features a character that everyone knows and everyone likes, right? Like, of all of the MCU, the Disney Plus shows, I'd say Tom Hiddleston and Loki are probably the most popular that had a show. A bunch of them were people no one knows, and then there were a couple that were fronted by people that we did know. So the first season being pretty dang successful. And also, as you said, it got a stinger off of the end of Ant-Man so that people could know, oh, hey, let me go check out that show. They literally said, go check it out, Loki season 2. So smart work there. It makes you wonder, the fuck have they been doing at Marvel this whole time, not doing stingers at the end of their movies pointing people towards Disney Plus shows? Like, yeah, what was the point of having this combined cinematic universe with TV and movies if they aren't feeding into each other? If you're not pointing,
You remember I said this. I said the reason why people are not watching the TV shows is because they don't see the reason of it. The MCU did a very terrible job of the first couple TV shows, like the first 3. They did a pretty good job of making you realize how important they were. The last few, people felt like they were just filler. They don't feel like it's canon because there's nothing in the movies. Because honestly, like, I'm just being honest. Why watch She-Hulk? What does She-Hulk do for the MCU? It doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, we know that it leaks into something, but it's been a year now, and we haven't even seen a movie in where we're going to talk about next. The sort of quote-unquote sequel of it looks like it's in limbo. So what was the point of She-Hulk? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you should introduce these characters in the movies, or have a little bit of, like you said, a stinger to make people. Because that's one of the reasons why people watched what was that movie? Multiverse of Madness. Because at the end of what's it called? I was gonna say Across the
No Way
Spider-Verse.
Home.
No Way Home. They were saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, the events of No Way Home leads to this. Oh snap, let's watch this." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what that did is that it made people go back, because people were saying, "Wait, is that an evil Doctor Strange?" Like in my theater, people were like, "What? Where's the evil Doctor Strange? Where's that from?" And I said, "Oh, that came from the What If TV show. There's a What If TV show. It writes itself. Why don't they? I don't know why they don't do it."
Yeah. So they, for whatever reason, they're just like, the shows will be fine on their own. No, you need to actually inform people that things are happening. You know, it's very, very strange that they don't do this obvious thing, which is, hey, so and so will show up in this TV show. Maybe you should go watch that. But the thing is that a bunch of their shows aren't connected. That's so one of the other problems with the MCU in the last few years is, yeah, you're making TV shows, great, but they're not connected to anything except they just happen to be taking place in this world, which is cool, and I like it as a former comic book reader and now, watcher of comic book things. Awesome. I'm not your target. You should not be aiming at me, who is open to whatever the hell y'all got going on. You got to be, aiming at people who they're not paying attention like I am, or you are. They're not going to watch everything. They need a reason to show up for Miss Marvel or She-Hulk or, Moon Knight or anything like that. And the way you'll say that is, hey, it's all connected. Like, trust me, this is the big old story and this is just part of it, and you need to watch this part. At no point, even in the best of these shows, have you felt like, well, this was important for me to know. It's important that I watch this. Now the movies will make more sense. Nope. You can go watch. I guarantee you can go watch the Marvels, and if you watch none of the damn shows, you'll figure it out. So I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange. Why? How can a studio that's kicked so much ass over the course of 15 years drop the ball so dramatically in this way? It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Which it's a good segue. Good for Loki, though. I will say good for Loki. It deserves it. Looking forward to the rest of the season, and of course we're going to be reviewing it. So come back to the channel and check all of that out. So, like I said, good segue into the what I consider to be the biggest news of this week related to comic book media, and that is big changes coming from Marvel Studios when it comes to TV. This is such a big thing. Like, I don't want to read every bit of the article. The article's not super long, but I want to read some bits of it just because it's just important that we get gets what's said correct. The gist of it being, oh shit, maybe the people that have made TV forever know something about making fucking TV. And like, maybe this Marvel Studios way of doing movies doesn't translate into making good TV. And it's only taken them 3 years to figure this shit out. Lottie. Just in 3 years' time, they're like, maybe we do need showrunners. Maybe we do need head writers. Maybe we do need, to follow the formula that has worked making TV since, what, decades, 60, 50, 60 years. They've been making TV successfully. The Marvel way was apparently, oh, well, let's get some, we'll get the writers. We don't need the writers after they finish writing everything. We'll get the directors in. We don't really need the directors. What we need is, we'll fix it in post and make it all make sense, and we'll do it just the way we make the movies. And we don't need a pilot. We don't need any of that stuff. We just, we already know we're gonna make it. We'll fix it in post. that seems to have been the way. And we got Secret Invasion, and it's probably to me, the most egregious example of how that wave is fucking stupid and doesn't work. Like, I mean, they detail it in the article, but Lottie, before we get into the meat of this, like, they're changing their, we've heard that they were changing their strategy anyway, but they're admitting, hey, we need to start doing things the way TV's traditionally been done. About time, in my opinion. What do you think?
About time, you arrogant assholes. Like, just something that has just been the absolute golden way of doing it. Nah, we're better than that. You know what I mean? It's just, like, I don't understand why Marvel just, in the MCU, they try to make things a lot harder than it has to be. Why do you wait so long until you just see that, oh, okay, this is clearly not working? And it's like, I remember, like, somebody was saying that, like, Marvel's trying to out um innovate people like Paramount or Max, and I'm not talking about when it comes to, and I'm not talking about when it comes to superhero stuff, just TV shows in general. They think they can just come in and innovate something that is, at this point, there's really no such thing as innovation. It's just making a show and just coming up with fresh ideas. It's such a old, because what, the dawn of TV is almost coming towards its 100th year now. There's no innovation at that point. It's been innovated. Almost every genre has been done before. The superhero TV shows have been done before, Marvel. You're not the first one to do it. There was a Hulk TV show in the 70s and the 80s. There was a Wonder Woman show in the 80s. You know what I mean? There's been a Superman show. You know what I mean? It's just Marvel. Sometimes just sit back and say, hey, let's study these people, see how they did it. Oh, this is how we do it. It's just, I don't like, sometimes I just wonder why Marvel tries to always overthink themselves. The answer is easy.
Well, you got to think about that they successfully created the MCU, over the course of 10 years, 10, 12 years by the time, Marvel TV was put under the Marvel Studios banner. So they figured they just keep doing it the Marvel way. Why wouldn't that translate into TV? And it just hasn't. Like, they've had some successes, but all of their successes are basically movies that are stretched out. But they don't have any actual real TV shows. Like, She-Hulk is a real TV show, and it was. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Other people liked it. It's not the best example of a TV show in terms of, like, its creation, pacing, etc. And there was some behind the scenes junk that happened on that the Marvel way clashing with the way you normally do TV.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want showrunners. They wanted the executive producer to basically, be the guiding force behind it. Whereas in traditional TV, you actually have showrunners who they are the creative force behind everything. The director sort of follows after, but the writers and the showrunners are who actually creatively drive a project. And so not having showrunners and writers be in charge of it, instead having kind of the brain trust sort of sending out their general ideas and then having the executive in charge of it trying to steer it, just isn't quite working. And it's so quite not working, in fact, and this was what really was the driving force behind this article, that the strikes happened, everything like that, and it set back Daredevil Reborn, but that doesn't fucking matter. The writers are back and everything, but the writers of Daredevil aren't coming back because they've been let go, and so have all of the directors for the rest of the season. They were about a little less than halfway through their shooting schedule, And they are basically scrapping the season as it has been, envisioned, because apparently, Daredevil in a suit, in his superhero suit, doesn't show up until episode 4 in this current version of it. So they're trying to figure out how to, kind of retool this thing. And so they're looking for new writers and directors and everything like that to try to figure out how to make this work as an actual regular TV series. And even Brad Winderbaum, who's, you can see he's one of the bigger producers over at Marvel, is basically doing the mea culpa. Like, yeah, I guess, we're figuring out how to do this TV like the way TV has traditionally been done. And that's the future for, like, one thing I read in there, they were like, we're gonna do multi-season shows. To which I say, the fuck weren't y'all doing that before? Like Loki season 2. This Loki is the first show that's gotten a second season, right, from the MCU's TV shows. My question is, the fuck haven't y'all? What were y'all thinking about? What was the idea? Oh, we're gonna just make one season of TV, then put them in the movies? That doesn't make any sense. The whole point was you can only do 3 or 4 movies a year, and if you want more than that Marvel content, you've got to make TV shows. What's the thing, Lottie? This shit fucking blows my mind, because I've been thinking for years, like, these guys have cracked the formula, and as kind of it's been exposed that maybe they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Now they pretty much saying straight out, yeah, we need to get back to doing things the normal way. And it blows my mind that, like, they literally haven't been thinking about making more than one season. They have, like, what was your strategy? I don't get it.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't surprise me too much, because we talked about it. We were like, are they making a second season to this show? Are they just doing this? It just seems like they were, what it seems like they were doing. They just wanted to content spam us. Just keep pumping out different TV shows of, like, B-list, C-list, and D-list heroes, and just constantly, just instead of just making second seasons, it's like each show is like a second season of another show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then have a movie so often that some of these heroes will show up in. That's what it seemed like they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, as a person that watches a bunch of TV, I can see the weakness in there, and not having showrunners. Now they're saying, like, going forward, they're going to have showrunners, and the showrunners are going to write the series Bible for everyone, that the writers that are going to be on there. And of course, with the new guild contract and everything, there's they need showrunners, they need head writers, they need all this other stuff. But it's just crazy to me. Like, they were even talking, like, on the behind the scenes of She-Hulk, how you have the person who helped develop and create the show get sidelined in favor of the director of the show, which in movies, that's the way it works. The director is king. But in TV, that is not the way it works. Directors are, they're functionaries. They don't make creative decisions beyond how they intend to film the script that they are given. But the actual people who are in charge creatively is the showrunner, who is the head writer usually, and the writers. And it is crazy as hell to me to think that they've been making TV with the director or the executive producer or whatever in mind, and not someone who's in charge of actually just making sure that the show, creatively in the writing phase, is great, and also as they're filming it, that it stays true to what they wrote. That is nuts to me. Like, to the point where with Daredevil, they literally are just like, we're throwing out this shit that we have now because it's not working, and we can't fix this shit in post. There's something at a fundamental level on this show, in the conception and the writing, that can't be fixed by CG and fucking tricky editing, which is apparently the way that they work at Marvel. It's extra coverage, reshoots, good editing, you know, and CG to fill in story problems. Which, Lottie, has that been working?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Like this shit, like it. I have to say, this article, more than probably anything else I've read in the past 3 or 4 years, has shaken my confidence in Marvel and in the Marvel brain trust and their ability to keep this motherfucking train running, to keep it moving, because it seems to me that there's, instead of scooping coal into the engine, they're scooping, like, you know, trash, or they're scooping, you know, just random shit into it and hoping that it's good enough to keep the train moving, and it's just not. Like, creatively, why would you do this? I'm just, Lottie, I'm baffled, and my confidence has been shaken. Help me out here.
You're not wrong to feel the way that you feel, because, you know, I've honestly I've been, for the last few times, I have been questioning Marvel, because it just feels that like I've been questioning Marvel for about, I'll say, about 8 months now, because it just felt like, I'm just like, why are they making things harder than it needed to be? Because, like, I remember one day one day my cousin came over, right? It was right after my birthday, and we watched Infinity War. And I know it's an unfair comparison, but it is a comparison because the movies cost somewhere around the same amount of money. And I compared it to Ant. We watched Ant-Man, and I just said, "What happened?" You know, like, what happened to the really tight writing, the really good, like, storytelling, the thought out plan when it came to making a universe? It just seems at this point they're not really doing much storyboarding and thought out planning. They're doing it with somewhat of the movies. Like, they're coming up with a story with the movies, but they're trying to make so much content on top of the movies that I don't think they're really truly planning out the TV shows interconnecting with their movie universe. Besides Loki and a few other TV shows, it just seems like they're kind of just out there. And man, you're not wrong to feel the way you feel. You're not wrong, and I hope things get better for them. Unfortunately, they lost one of their most talented writers and directors, because he got a big ass promotion at DC,
Right.
James Gunn. So they have to find and cultivate, either find new talent, cultivate talent, or bring some people back.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's one of the things they were saying. Like, they started hiring outside of, instead of promoting from within, they're hiring from outside. And I'm like, why the fuck is it taking y'all so long to do that? Like, I get it, being loyal to staff that's loyal to you, but you're talking about people whose expertise is in the movies, not making TV shows. Like, it only makes sense. Get experienced people that make TV. Like, it's so weird that this has to be fucking explained to people. Like, you know, look, great, they can make good movies. That's, you know, cool. What the fuck's that got to do with making, you know, 10 to 18 episodes of a TV show? That's it's baffling. Like I said, I'm my confidence, like, I think it's been shaken to the point where I can't believe in them until I see better. You know, I think Loki's probably going to be pretty good. But what about after that? How does this all relate to everything? Like, what is the guiding principle going on at Marvel right now besides let's throw a bunch of shit at the fucking wall? Don't get me started on the Secret Invasion stuff. Apparently, Secret Invasion was a shit show behind the scenes, and it's literally, out of all of the Marvel TV shows, it's probably the worst Marvel TV show they've made so far. One of the biggest fucking bag fumbles possible that they committed, and a lot of it had to do with, you know, creative not any differences, creative staff either being fired or let go, or just not being available, schedule changes, just like it's a fucking mess, and it pains me because I'm a long time Marvel shill over here, but what the fuck are they doing? I thought Kevin Feige ran a tight ship, but apparently that bitch is leaking. It's
Yep.
anyway.
I
Go ahead.
I hate that this is what's happening, but yeah, man, it's
This. I'm just saying, as an avid TV watcher, shit fucking blows my mind reading this article. They don't make pilots. You know, pilots are super important to any TV studio, any studio making TV, because that's when you know whether or not you are gonna keep on making something. You know, you sometimes think like, oh, we're gonna invest $10 million in making a pilot. Well, what if you don't pick the pilot up? Oh, you spent $10 million as opposed to $100 million. That's why, right?
yeah.
And so, like, they don't do pilots. That's fucking crazy. You need to know whether or not you got something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. It seems like they're making big changes. They're making good changes, smart changes. They're realizing there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Let's just do it the way it used to be done. And hopefully, with these changes, they can get this shit together so that we, instead of saying, oh, here's another Marvel thing, we can say, oh shit, here's another Marvel thing. Let's go. So, anyway, Lottie, you know what? We'll keep an eye on this. We'll let you guys know more about what's going on with Marvel Studios TV output when we get some more information. Like, keep an eye out for Echo and Wonder Man, which are in the works, and of course Daredevil Reborn. We will talk about all of that stuff when we get some more information. And with that, that's the end of all of our news for this week. But maybe we missed something, or you just had something to say about our comments or the topics we were talking about. Whatever the case may be, get down to the comments section and leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the algorithm so that more people can see this channel and see videos just like this. And if you are on a podcasting platform, do us a big favor and leave us a review. Give us 5 stars if you would be nice like that. But whatever you think we deserve, that would be cool. And of course, while you're out there in social media land, hit us up on Instagram. We got TikTok. We got Twitter. Got Threads. Super Not Funny Show wherever you can find it. So thanks for that. And of course, I couldn't do this show by myself. I got my good friend Lottie to help me out. So Lottie, where can they find you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. And of course, you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Kinihun25. I'm working on an animation, a horror animation that I'm going to be releasing quite soon. I'm actually quite proud of how creepy it is so far. So stay tuned for that. And if you like it, please like it, or leave like a comment or share it, because now shares are now a statistic now.
Nice. Okay, well, you guys go do all that. Show some love to Lottie in this spooky season. He's got some stuff cooking in the pot right now, so you go check that all out. All right, thanks for joining us. This is, can you believe it, episode 122 of the Supercast. Come back next week. Got plenty more news and just like superhero stuff to talk about. It'll be a good time. So we'll see you then. Until then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.